Computer Information Systems from a California university. Rhino has been a Toastmaster since 2012, and he is earnest to qualify for his second Distinguished Toastmaster Award. We all have different reasons why we join Toastmasters. As we get busy with our various obligations and commitments outside the club life, it is easy to forget our commitment to our growth and self-development through our Toastmasters membership. It is important to remember why we join Toastmasters and renew our commitment to the learning experience. Well, what does that mean in practice? You will find out within the next 10 minutes. With a round of applause, welcome on stage Lionel Yamento, presenting Keeping the Commitment.
Keeping the commitment. What is commitment? Commitment is the decision to embark on a course of action for some interest of ours. That's commitment. So, for example, if you're committed to having good health and you believe in your mind that eating well is going to help you achieve that, every time you're in front of food, you make decisions to go for one meal over the other because you know overall it's going to help you achieve better health. So that's commitment, being on a course of action for an interest of ours. So keeping the commitment to what in this case? It is keeping our commitment to being Toastmasters. Keeping the commitment to being Toastmasters. And what is a Toastmaster? As if you could please help me get rid of that notice. If I ask the audience, what is a Toastmaster? Let me have two people tell me what they believe a Toastmaster is. Thank you, Asif. Who is first? Two people to tell me what they believe a Toastmaster is. What is a Toastmaster, Nadine? You've been at it for over 30 years. What is a Toastmaster?
I think a Toastmaster is a person who wants to grow by learning to communicate clearly.
A person that wants to grow by learning how to communicate very clearly. And
in my opinion, a Toastmaster is someone who practices the art of public speaking.
Very good. So two very similar definitions, and this is what I came up with when I was preparing for this segment. Very good. Asif, if you could please move that chair back to that station. Move the chair out so you can stay there. You're going to help us in that way. And you're going to move to the next slide. And we're going to see what a Toastmaster is. A Toastmaster is an individual who is committed to self-improvement through active engagement in Toastmasters International. Very similar to what Nadine and Jessica said. Jessica, thank you, but you don't have to do that. Asif is very happy helping us that way. Thank you, Jessica. Now, the next question I want to ask is, why did you become a Toastmaster? And when I say why, I want you to think of the consequence of not being a Toastmaster. Because a lot of us, when we say the reason why we became Toastmasters, we see the good things that we want to get out of it. But we don't see the bad things we are trying to stay away from. So think about it for a moment. And I want two people to tell me, why did you become a Toastmaster? What were you running away from? I have an idea what you're going towards, but what were you running away from? In other words, what are the possible not so good consequences of not being here? Sergio?
What was I running away from?
Yes.
I just wanted to not get nervous in front of others in my public speeches and just, be confident in my own abilities.
Exactly. So you're running away from low self-confidence, lack of skills in expressing yourself with confidence and everything else. Is that correct?
Yeah, that sounds correct.
Excellent. So, Ophelia, do you want to participate or should I give it to Al? So, Al, you're going to tell us.
Very similar, I think. It's the fear of speaking up, and I didn't do it for years and years and years. I had lots to say, I wouldn't say it.
Very good. The fear of not being heard, of not being able to express yourself. That's what he was running away from. From me, it was the fear of my life not being as relevant as I knew it could be. Because I remember there were times where I would lock myself up at home, not wanting to talk to anyone, not realizing that I was kidding myself. Because my heart wanted to be out there talking to people, but my mind was telling me, you don't have what it takes. Do we have a good understanding of what a Toastmaster is? And we are all Toastmasters in different ways. Some of us are Toastmasters to be. Am I right, Kathleen? Excellent. Let's move on to the next slide. And here, we have addressed this already while we all became Toastmasters. And I want us to move on to the next slide. Because the next slide begins to address a question. And the question is, what is it that we have to do to keep our commitment to Toastmasters? And before I go into how you can do that in terms of specific actions, I want to tell you the story of Vanessa and Jeff. Vanessa came here to this club, I think it was about 4 years ago. The second month after her membership, she took over the leadership of the club as president. And she stayed on for president for about 2 years. She had no clue the first year that she was in service. But the second year, she made a lot of adjustments to her style and her growth that made a tremendous difference. Jeff, we have two Jeff. We have Jeff C and Jeff M. Jeff C, similar situation. He came in, had no clue, was running away from the same thing some of us were running away from, and he stayed on with the club for about 2 years as well. And he grew tremendously, but then he moved on. Jeff M was also a similar story. Same reasons, came on, grew tremendously. As part of his membership, he decided, when that confidence grew, he decided to take a trip to South America. And he spent about a month there, having a blast. And when he came back, he was inspired to go for a master's degree, an MBA. And through his association and leadership with Toastmasters, he wrote an essay that convinced the admission board to get him into the executive MBA program. That was Jeff M. Jeff C, after 2 years of being a member, he decided to move on and start his own business. He grew so much. Vanessa got inspired and decided to pursue other interests, particularly be more committed at work, to apply all the things, all the skills she had learned here, and also get into fitness. Because that's what happens when you begin to grow one aspect of your life, it spills over other aspects of your life. I'm saying that to say, as you are a Toastmaster, your priorities are going to grow, evolve, and change. Me, I'm a Toastmaster for life. Whether I have an active membership or not, I still consider myself a Toastmaster. And I hope you do too. Because being a Toastmaster, as we run meetings every weekend, we know it's about priorities. It's about order. It's about sequence. In other words, if you have your best friend who gives you a call on Saturday morning as you are getting ready for the meeting, and you realize that that relationship is as important as being here with us, I would recommend you go attend to your best friend. I'll be happy if you go and attend to your best friend. Because we know that if nothing else happens, you're going to be here with us. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If it does, say yes, it does.
Yes, it
Yes,
does.
it does.
Now, I told you the stories of Vanessa, Jeff, and Jeff to tell you it is okay not to be here. You can be committed to someone and not being there with them. That's fine. But how do you show your commitment those times you are able to be with that person? That's what we're going to look at. Let's move on to the next slide. Participate. What does participate mean? Participate means attend meetings. Now, I know I've done it myself. There were times where I wake up on Saturday morning, I know the meeting is at 11, but for some reason, I just don't get myself to get ready and dress up and show up. We've all done that. And as a matter of fact, Some of us will do it quite often for work, if we were given the opportunity to do that, right? So I've done it myself, but participation means being there. Whether you're going to sit up and shut up, just be there and sit up. That's participation. The other aspect of participation is to prepare our speech projects. Now, it's fine to come up here and give a talk out of your inspiration. Some of those go really well. But participation means if you go home at night with your assignment, come back the following day with your assignment done from that assignment book, not from your imagination. Remember, it's important to follow the program. That's how you get the most out of it. If you pay $150 for an hour with a gym coach, a personal training coach, are you going to do 2 sit-ups when he tells you to do 5? No. You paid him your money, so you're going to do 5. And you know he's going to help you do 5. Because he knows what is best for you. That's why you paid him the money. So when Toastmasters says, follow projects in this order, go and do some research on the internet, go and talk to a few people, before you come up here to give a speech, there's a reason behind it. Participate. Ooh, one other aspect of participation is paying your membership dues. And it's about that time of the year when we get to pay the membership dues. So remember to speak to Nadine and she's going to help you process that. Let's move on to the next aspect of engagement. Interaction. What does interaction mean? Interaction means helpful evaluation and creating a friendly environment. Now, all of us do that because all of us, before walking through the door, we put our friendly faces on. And that's a beautiful thing. It's part of interaction. An important aspect of interaction is taking up leadership roles. Being a club officer. That is going to multiply the amount of interaction you have and in turn reaffirm your commitment to the organization. And not only to the organization, of course, to yourself, because that's what you're really here for. The third way is maintain club quality. Now, if we do the first two, participation and interaction, is going to set a foundation for us to have a good club. But if we bring guests, if we follow all the guidelines and rules, if we work on our educational goals, it's going to lead us to having an excellent club. And that's what we want. A good club is fine. I mean, there are thousands of good clubs. But we want an excellent club. And how do we do that? By bringing guests. It's always good to have other faces in the room. By following all the guidelines. And by working consistently on our educational goals. Mr. President, it's about time that every time we come here, we see you with your educational manuals, and we see you working on them, because we're going to do what you show us to do. Very, very important. Madam Nadine, or Miss Nadine, please, please go into our club resources box and see if you can find the Toastmasters Promise. I want us to go over the Toastmasters Promise as a way to close this interaction with you. The Toastmasters Promise is what every Toastmaster agrees to at the time of them being a member of Toastmasters International. Now, Kathleen, you're not yet a Toastmaster, so you don't have to say the promise, but you're going to see that there's a lot of value in repeating those things. And I like to do it about once every quarter, because it helps reinforce the reasons why we're here and what we agreed to when we became Toastmasters. As she's doing that, getting us ready with the Toastmasters Promise, I want to go into my close. And my close consists of saying to you that the only way I am strong in this environment is if you are strong. People ask me, why do you keep going back to the club? You should be seeking higher places to share your experience and knowledge. I say, no, because if I go to higher places, it's a beautiful thing because I get to become stronger based on the strength of others. But if I leave this place and I know there are a few people that might benefit from me being there in them being stronger, then I'm doing a disservice to the club. For us to have a quality club, an excellent club, we have to keep working on ourselves. Excellent. To keep working on ourselves means to remember our commitment, not only to Toastmasters, but to ourselves. Remember what you're running away from. Remember why you are a Toastmaster. Nadine was graceful enough and she found us an abridged version of the Toastmasters Promise. The Toastmasters Promise has 10 different elements. My list has only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 elements. So we're gonna work with that. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna all stand. Please stand. The Toastmasters have to stand, the non-Toastmasters, you can just stand to look good as well. As a Toastmaster, I promise to, and then I'm gonna tell you, and then you're gonna repeat. Does that make sense? Excellent. As a Toastmaster, I promise.
As a Toastmaster, I promise.
To attend meetings regularly and prepare fully for each assignment.
To attend meetings regularly and prepare for each assignment.
To apply myself to the program outlined in the Toastmaster manuals.
To apply myself to the outlines in the
Toastmaster manual.
You're doing great. To participate actively in club activities.
To participate actively in club activities.
To evaluate others in a positive, constructive manner.
To evaluate others in a positive, constructive manner.
To build open, friendly relationships with other club members.
To build open, friendly relationships with other members.
And to bring other new members into the club so they can benefit as well.
And to bring other members.
So they can benefit.
Give yourselves a round of applause. You may be seated, Mr. Toastmaster. Thank you. Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
That was a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lionel, for the revelation of the
Yeah, I plugged in the wrong one.
I have that, and I was like,
Let's take a minute now to write down our feedback.
Yeah, that saves me about a minute. Yeah, that saves me about a minute.